I specifically said, look, everybody has a right to express their, individual personhood, but what you don't have the right is to ask me to celebrate and coddle your personhood.
I think eventually there is a path there where you come around to understand that it's not because Christianity recommends, X, Y, and Z, but it's through Christianity that we become great.
And of course, this upends the whole purpose of becoming parents, which is that the world stops and is no longer about you. I mean, that's why you grow up and you have kids and you have responsibilities. And
they passed the anti-alt-right resolution, which is basically to say they condemn racism, but they only condemn whites who happen to be racist. And of course, by their definition, all whites are racist unless they have a sufficient amount of self-hatred.
Today, white people are constantly being told that race is a social construct. It's not even biological. It's some sort of sociological optical illusion.
You get someone who's just a global citizen, and they might well be mixed race, which is part of it, that adds to it. And you think, where do you belong? Yeah, you belong in a shopping mall. There's nothing to you other than that.
Hello and welcome to World of Scarcity, Episode 3. I'm your host, Matthew Drake. It's going to be a bit of a cozy podcast today. We're going to be trying something somewhat new. I've done it before and got good results, so we're going to try it, which is the live draw. And of course, as usual, I'd like to begin by bowing our heads in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before Thee today, looking for inspiration and looking to the future with many concerns. Father, we are especially concerned about freedom of speech, and we are grateful for those activists, whatever side of the aisle they are on, who are in support of free speech and are out there doing work for the cause, and we hope that they can be successful to push back against the techno-fascism that is trying to prevent us from speaking the truth and speaking Thy words. Help us to repel evil in the world and to become good disciples of Thee. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. And I would also begin with a little quote from the Bible. This is New Testament, John, chapter 8, chapter 9. As he passed by, he saw a man blind from his birth, and his disciples asked him, Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered, It was not that the man sinned or his parents, but that the works of God might be made manifest in him. We must work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night comes when no one can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. So, well, yes, let's get into today's topic, which I'm sure you've all heard of. It's the migrant caravan that's been going on for months now, and this picture was just too good to pass up. So here we go. It's this guy here. Yes, the cover image that you saw, and so we're gonna be drawing this. We're gonna teach you guys how to draw. Isn't this great? At some point down the road, maybe I'll take I don't know. Maybe people will pay me to draw something. We'll see how that works out. But for now, I'm just gonna draw this migrant family, quote family here, yeah. Now, of course, where to begin? Where to begin? Well, when I draw, I typically draw. Sorry, I almost need like 3 monitors here. Okay, so you start with the most central feature, right? And so we're gonna zoom in here, and just about the middle of the page here, and we're gonna draw. I'm selecting just this kind of basic pencil brush here, but we're gonna draw her head there. Oh, that's a little too thick. Let me try this again. Yeah. So she's got a little ponytail there, and I recall her name was Meza. It looks like this Times article is interesting. They've got the story about the photographer who took this, so we might get into some of the quotes from that. But for now, let's just, and actually, I don't think this is quite big enough. I want to make this a little bit bigger here, because she's really the centerpiece, this Mesa person. And of course, in the Mesa mestizo, it fits very well. So she's got her nose here. Oh, she's got a nose. She's kind of got this hairline going on there. And, for the details, you can do a little bit less here. But she's kind of got her eyes open, right? Squinting. Oh, yeah. This kind of eyebrows here. That's... Oh, yeah. Okay. So there we go. And now for the feature touch, it's you got to get that tongue in there. That's pretty good. I like that. So yes, for those in the chat, I'm using Photoshop to do this, and yeah. So this article, basically, if you don't know the story, what happened? Well, on the 25th or so, there were 500, between 500 and 1,000 migrants from this caravan stormed the border, the fence in there. They're in Tijuana, and the mayor of Tijuana has had some comments about that pretty recently too. But these opportune journalists, they just happened to be down there, and they were photographing the whole thing. You have here. So this photograph was taken by an Asian. It looks like a Korean person, Kim Hyung-hoon. So is this another Sarah Jong type of anti-white journalist? It looks like veteran Reuters photographer. So yeah, there's thousands of people in this caravan, and they're coming to the border, and some of them managed to, slip under it. So this is actually this is a good thing. This is a white pill, because now it gives our government and Trump the authority, the excuse to go there and, do things like using tear gas, right? So that's what the media has been up in arms about. And you see these other articles about, I don't have it here, but about how the tear gas, is it legal? There's all these articles. Is it legal? And they have to admit that's like, oh, well, technically it's legal, but it really shouldn't be legal, because, it's not even legal in war to use chemical weapons, so why is it legal here? But nobody's disputing the legality here. So I'll continue with my my Elsa drawing here. Yeah, she's got this cute little outfit going on, right? Oh, yeah. Let's get a little bit bigger here. Yeah. Oh, she's got these big arms. Oh, that might be too. She's got these big arms. Oh, yeah. You know, I want this to be... Okay, I'm digging it. It's a little... It needs to be a little more jiggly than that, really. These big cellulose arms, right? So, and then she's grabbing her child, as you can see. And she's wearing this Elsa. You might have seen it. Oh man, you know, this is... It's okay to make mistakes, right? I just made a mistake there, which is that I didn't make her fat enough. So, you know, I'm not one to body shame usually, but she does need to have the right proportions. Oh yeah, that's perfect. Right. So, I'm basically like the modern day Bob Ross here. This is great. We're having a great time. She's got these arms. Now, I mean, I don't know, like, do white people grab their kids like this? I mean, and also, this is the type of people that you want... They claim that we want coming into our country. And it's just patently false. I mean, why do you think that they're not trying to spread this image farther? Well, it's because it's frankly gross and disgusting. And I mean, you know that these this woman and her children, they're going to go on welfare. All right, let's get her head there. This is her child. I believe their children it's twin sisters, okay? And they're about 7 years old. And they're wearing diapers. I shouldn't laugh. I told myself that I would try not to laugh too hard. Oh yeah, there we go. So you got this poor kid, and okay, she's frowning. She's really unhappy. You see how unhappy she is? Well, let's go over here back to our browser and see if they tell us anything more about these kids, right? So it's a bit further down, I believe. Ah, there we go there. Oh, they're 5-year-old. Okay, 5-year-old twin girls. Chelly and Sarah Meza. And their mother is Maria Meza. Oh, man, they've been doxxed. I guess it's okay. They're not in America yet, so thankfully. Meza told Reuters that the family is fleeing violence in their home country, Honduras. So they're from Honduras. Meza is also traveling with her 3 other children, including her 13-year-old daughter, Jamie, who was running behind them in Kim's photo. Oh, that's who that was, huh? They hope to reunite with her husband, who is in Louisiana. Oh, isn't that touching? They're just trying to get back to their family, guys. That's it. It's a heartwarming, it's a Cinderella story. I mean, how cold-hearted do you have to be to, think that these are bad people? All right. So let's continue on. Yeah, and definitely, I'm sorry. It's because of all what I'm doing here, it's going to be hard to engage with you in the chat, but you can always leave me a comment. Please do let me know how you like this series here. Okay, so basically now we got to get her other arm in there, right? She's kind of like unstable a little bit. Well, she's tripping that's the idea, right? She's tripping. And you know, another reason why I wanted to do this photo is because they actually don't use the word photo in that Times article there. They use the word image, which I thought was interesting. It's like, oh, this image was constructed by Kim, and he just happened to be there in the moment, and there was no setting up whatsoever of the scene, and he just happened to catch this great moment because there were moments happening all over the place. And oh gosh, what's going on here? There. So let's get her legs going on. But yeah, it's just an image. And they also talk about how, let's get her feet. They talked about her feet in there, actually, if you read that article that I linked. Oh man. Okay, I kind of screwed this up. I don't know if you see this here. It's like she looks their feet are way too big. That's okay. That's the beauty of Photoshop. You just go in there and make it smaller. Now you can't really see the diapers on this one. The other one you can see the diapers, right? Okay. Switch back to my brush here and finish off these little twig legs here. And boo boo boo. Yeah, they were like, oh, what was the word they used? Her fragile feet were seen stumbling across. Oh gosh, this is too good. I have to go find this. Here we go. Yeah, Hobbit's feet. They had this really prophetic, like, poetic language here. Here we go. Yes, this is it. Okay. So, it says, the image shows a mother dragging her daughters away from gas canisters shot at them from the American side of the U.S.-Mexico border near Tijuana. The two children are both in diapers. No reason why, they're 5 years old. One is barefoot, and her tiny feet look fragile on the gray and rocky ground. I don't know if you guys listen to the Third Rail at all, but it's a fine production. They do these dramatic readings, and when I read this, I just really wanted to have this dramatic journalist reading in the background. This really sad and sentimental music. Okay. So we're doing pretty good here. We're doing pretty good. And we got that girl. She got these weird little feet. I don't like her arms and legs are a little too big. And hey, what can I say? It's my first time stream drawing here. We got the big mama here protecting her cub. Yeah, okay, she's running. She's running from the gas. They're gonna gas me, and I actually think I wouldn't be surprised if you do see certain like Holocaust survivors talking about this in a negative light, because they're kind of making light of the gas. Okay, and here I'm coming in with the diaper. The Big diaper. All right. But they're making light of gas, and gas, as you know, is a very serious thing. It's used in warfare, and it's used to exterminate races of people. So that's not something you want to mess around with. I'm a little surprised that they're even... But of course, this is another Shoah on the border. But but at the same time, there's only one real Shoah. Like, the Mexicans don't really get to have a Shoah. Anyway. Anyway. For my Jewish friends in the audience, we love you. You know that, right? We love you. Of course. Okay, so we got some, yeah. You guys seeing this okay? Yeah. All right. So here's our big diaper girl. Big 5-year-old. She's a big girl. Oh. Now we're going to go and draw the belly. The belly hanging out here. And this is my favorite part here. Oh, yeah, just look at that. Just look at that. Oh, dear. Oh, I think those legs should have been over a little more. I didn't anticipate how big they were, but okay, we can fix that. We can fix that. Dun, 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 dun. You know, I just kind of select stuff and then move it over a little bit. Just a little bit. That's enough, you know, and then go in there with your stamp tool and clean that up there. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. So we got that. What other, you know, I will go and let me look at the chat real quick here and see if anyone's got any suggestions for me. So Holodomor. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many suggestions. Okay. Her gut, someone says, her gut should be the focal point in the cartoon. Right. Well, that's what we're picking up now. So let's get this here. You know, if it weren't for her hair, it'd be pretty hard to tell if this is a male or a female. Which means, I mean, really, when you think about it, this woman is going to fit in just great with our country. Okay? I mean, she's got the Elsa shirt. And she's got a big gut, right? She's got a big belly. And we all know that Americans are very proud of their obesity. And I can say that because I'm an American, so I can make fun of my people. It is sad though. Isn't it sad? I mean, what's happened in this country and the health, just the rampant epidemic that's happening. And okay, so again, she's grabbing this child, and I don't know what, like, am I the only one who thinks this is just terrible parenting? I mean, first of all, why did you bring your kids to the US-Mexico border? It's illegal. You know, they were saying, oh, she's got to reunite. She's trying to reunite with her hubby in America. And who knows if that's true? I mean, it may be. Maybe. I'm sure she knows somebody in America. Like, at this point, everyone in Mexico kind of knows somebody in America, right? So, yeah, like, oh, I'm just gonna go. I'm meeting my husbando in Louisiana, and we need to get there. But of course, why can't the husband go to Mexico? I mean, seriously, why do they all need to be in the United States? You know, it's this Blue Jay tactic that you hear in the legal system all the time. It's like, when there are no Mexicans here, what they'll say is, you know, these people they're seeking asylum. You know, if they don't know anybody here, it's that they're seeking asylum. They're just trying to find a better life. And, you know, aren't we all seeking a better life? But that doesn't give you the right to enter our country. Thank you very much. So, you know, but of course, once some of them get in, then it's, oh, we can't separate the families. We can't separate the families. I mean, sure, you know, the people that we are letting in are more likely than your average white American. Notice I said white American, to commit crimes. But that, you know, we don't care. We don't care about the separation of the victims of illegal immigrants. Those families, that's family separation. No, we don't care about that. All right, I think we got a good start here. And there's rocks on the ground, you know. Oh no. Run! Wait, what is run in Spanish? It's I don't know. Rapido. Anyway, so now we're gonna put our tear gas in here. It's looking pretty good. Yeah, we want that gut right in there. And so we got the tear gas here. You know, this right here is high quality tutorials. You guys are really learning how to do this at home. Okay, what's my computer just froze here. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so it looks like it's kind of behind something, some little trench or whatever. Now, you know, a lot of people were questioning the validity of this photograph. Is this real? Or is this staged? And, well, all you need to do to figure that out is look at the context of it, right? Because the way we have it now, this is exactly... Okay, so you want your border fence in the background there. Okay, there. So there's your border fence. This right here is a perfect picture for the journalists. They're like, okay, there's this family and there's this wall. You would need to add some other elements, which is you would need to add these big, scary guards throwing these canisters, or maybe some flamethrowers. Should we do that? I'm sort of thinking I don't know where to go with this. I don't know if I should. At this point, I could go two ways. I could do what the journalists imagine the scene being, or I could do what's actually taking place. I think I'm going to do what's actually taking place. Now, it would be another fun. Maybe you're doing this at home. Maybe you want to draw some flamethrowers in there, some giant robots coming down with laser beams shooting the Mexicans and vaporizing them. That's about as believable as these images that the New York Times shows us. So yeah. But because I'm going to do a realistic drawing, right? What I'm instead going to do is draw some people. Some people in the background. You might put it on a different layer. Now they've also got some razor wire here. I'm gonna do that just very lightly. And if you're, now I have a tablet, so that makes all of this easier. If you don't have that, you can still do this on just with pencil and so on. But just, use different line weights of pencil. Start HB or whatever, and then work your way up for the darker images. One more line here of the razor wire. And the razor wire, they've been putting the razor wire on the border. Okay. And why do they have to do that? Well, it's because we don't have a wall yet. So we need to get that wall taken care of there. But yeah, there is some kind of barrier up here, right? So we can go in and add our detail there. Yeah, so maybe we should go jump back into our story. Because here they're describing the scene, right? So we want to jump back. All right. So Kim walked along with about 100 migrants, including many women and children. Yeah, so just think about that there. It's very misleading. Many women and children. How many? Many! There's just so many! No number, no attempt to approximate. Many, I don't know, is many like 20? Like out of the 500 there were 20 women and children or something? That's probably what they mean. I'm just going to assume. Everything shifted, he said, when he got about 10 feet from the border. He watched as two men crouched beside the fence and tried to dig underneath. One of the men dug with a plastic cup, and the other clawed at the ground with his bare hands. So you're getting all this propaganda here, and it's like they're adding all these details. Why? Well, they're trying to present to you the fact that these guys rushed the border and broke through the border. They dug underneath, which is a criminal offense. They're breaking the law. But they're trying to gloss over that by saying, like, oh, they're just poor people that all they had was a plastic cup, and they had used the last of their water, and they're gonna die if they don't get into this country. And the whining and the kvetching, it's nonstop. Alrighty. Here we go. Back to our drawing. Yeah, so that's the other thing, is that they say, oh, these guys, they're fleeing violence. They're fleeing violence. That's why they need asylum. And of course, as if you've read any of the alternative media, you understand that Mexico, there's this thing of like first country, where if you're actually an asylum seeker, if you're being persecuted in your own country because of some, it has to be an immutable characteristic, like, I don't know, sex, race, gender, something like that, and not economics, in other words, if you're being persecuted. Well, you can seek asylum, and it's you generally go to the first country that offers you asylum. And so the question is, why isn't Mexico taking these people? And we know the answer to that, which is that Mexico doesn't want these people. These people, the Hondurans, they're even darker than the Mexicans, right? The Mexicans look at them the same way we look at Mexicans. That's just a reality, and there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, this whole asylum thing. Oh, they what's your reason for wanting asylum? Oh, I want a better life, and they're being coached, people. They're being coached on what to say. Here, we're going to put a little American flag in here so that you know which side of the border you're actually on. I mean, if you didn't already know, because it's like the shitty side. So there. And then we're going to put some people in here. And yeah, there's just kind of people like standing around, basically, if you look at this picture. And that's why it kind of went viral, and it was so funny. Is like, you expect me to believe that this is like, oh, these people's lives are in danger. No, I mean, Trump tweeted out that these people, I don't know what's going on. It's like some kind of train here. They're like humping each other or something. I don't know. Oh, we have to let them in then. They appear to be part of the LGBT community. But yeah, Trump was tweeting out that the tear gas is it's non-lethal. Nobody's gonna die from it. So, if you remember that, whatever his name was, this guy on CNN, I think he was just kind of calmly saying, trying to calm people down. There's no invasion. Nobody's coming for your jobs. There's nothing to worry about. It's this NPC kind of programming that's like, don't worry, sheeple, common NPC, my fellow NPC, there's nothing to worry about except for Trump, who is evil and trying to prevent these poor innocent people from entering our country, and can't we just allow them a little bit of bread? Where is your heart? So there's no arguments. It's all just emotional manipulation. And what did you expect? But we are in a society dominated by women. When women are in power, this is what you get, is like these appeals to emotional arguments. And there may be a racial aspect to the people in power too. I'm certainly open to those kinds of arguments, but these are not, I'm not saying that they're all demonic people who want to kill you, but there certainly are some in there who will at least go down a path where that is the outcome. A lot of these illegals. And so are you willing to take that risk? So But again, it's also just, it's not just about the safety. Why don't we want them here? Obviously, they're a danger to us and our families. But the other reason is just, it's our culture. It's our country. And these people, the Mexicans, and much like the Muslims, come here and they openly declare that they are trying to take back the country. This is a reconquista. And it doesn't, you don't have to have every single person saying that as their motivation. But again, why should we believe what they're saying? Like, I'm not even a big supporter of this asylum thing, because we know that people are coaching them. You know, even the Tijuana mayor was like, I know that somebody, we know that these people are being funded, but we haven't identified who yet. And actually, Jack Posobiec had a tweet where he was identifying the group in charge. Maybe you've heard of the Pueblo Señores. I should have saved that tweet, huh? Anyway, this is a group which is ultimately backed by people like George Soros. The open what do you call it there? The open society. Open society. Progress. This is all just progress. Well, no. What you call progress is the demographic replacement and destruction of our people. And we've had enough of it. So yeah, you get the idea. I've got these guys just standing around. You see some people with like baby carriages here. And it's like, wow, you brought your baby on this really dangerous mission. That's incredibly irresponsible of you. But why do you think they're doing that? Now, there's some people who speculate these might not even be their children. I think that's a possibility, you know. It's worth mulling over. But okay, now I'm getting lazy here. I'm just kind of drawing stick folks. But yeah, like the NGOs who are responsible for this generally tell people, bring your children. And they tell specifically, I've heard that they actually coach the women, especially once they get into this country. They say, you know, your kids who come in can't just, you know, get welfare and stuff like that. The ones that come in with you. That's why they always tell them, like, have children as soon as you get here. Because that way they're going to get the things that they want. They're going to get the Gibbs, the child services. And so, yeah, a lot of our infrastructure and staff of these CPS and stuff, or I don't know if it's CPS that does it, but our government staffers, they're putting a lot of their energies into these oftentimes single moms who come over here. Maybe they've got kids that they left behind or whatever, but they're just like, oh, I'll pop out another one, and that way I can get my rewards. It's just sick and vile. All right. How do you like that? Oh, we forgot our cameraman here. You gotta have the camera, guys. They're just documenting. They're just documenting what's happening. That's the only reason they're there, is just to inform the public. You know, they just want to tell people what's going on. So yeah, there's these guys, and they're shooting basically a movie. That's what they're doing. They're trying to get the best shot. What is going to tug at the heartstrings the best? And so this guy Kim came up with this photo here. And okay, you know what I want to do? I'm gonna add a little smoke. So I'm gonna go into my brushes and pull out sort of a, this is like a watercolor preset. You can get those in various places, but I'm just gonna add a little gray to our haze here. Let's see if I can, oops, just that part. Awesome. All right, I got this now. Now I can just go and like add some gray here. It's a little too dark for me. It's okay. So there you go. There's some smoke coming up there. Looks good. Now we wanna, you wanna make it realistic, so let's put some shadows in there. You know, the hot sun of Mexico is beating down on these people. Now, of course, they're very used to dealing with the hot sun, right? Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's get another layer in here that we can add some brush, some shadows. So, yeah, Mexico. The promising thing is, and if you haven't been keeping up on this, let me kind of red pill you a little bit. The promising thing is that Trump, at least, Trump seems to be playing this pretty well. What he's trying to do is get Mexico to handle the migrants and just to deal with them in their country. And that is very good for us because we have this litigious judicial system, what some will call the critarchy. And it's a hindrance. It is the whole reason that we can't get things done. It's because these super liberal judges rule that just everything under the sun that has to do with not letting in brown people to your country is racist and therefore unconstitutional. You know, because anything, you know, the Constitution, why the Constitution has to be not racist. It couldn't be that people who wrote the Constitution had ideas that verged on racism. They couldn't have been race realists. Oh well, yeah. I mean, I know you far right extremists. You point to these documents about the 1790 Naturalization Act, but don't. That's a hate fact. Why do you even know that? That's not something you should know. You're supposed to just point to the Emma Lazarus poem. What's going on here? All right, you guys, I'm not gonna bother putting in this other child. I didn't even realize like that other person behind the woman was just in case you don't know what I'm talking about here. I didn't even realize that this woman here was can you see there, this girl. That's actually also her daughter. I thought that was like another cameraman or something. But apparently she brought all of the children that she could Isn't that great? All right, and so that's pretty good. What else do we want to add to this thing? Yeah, I mean, we could do some more shadows back here. Why not? Just to show that it's like this hill. And, you know, I know there's going to be people commenting like, this is boring, there's too many pauses or whatever. Well, I'm live drawing. It's like, don't you think that's sort of a bit of a challenge there? And yeah, I think I'll probably get better with it the more I do it. It's definitely a skill. It's a good skill to have, to just be able to talk about something and keep an audience for a little bit. I really recommend people, do that. Okay, and then what happens back here is that we've got like the rest of the caravan here that are like just crowding around the border. A lot of people have commented on this about like the difference between whites and non-whites is oftentimes that the non-whites they aren't really, it seems like they aren't capable of getting in a line, and I don't know if they aren't capable, but that's largely their culture, right? It's like white people stand in line and non-whites just sort of mob around something, and get used to it. I mean, the demographics aren't gonna change back to the way that they were in the 50s, so it's time to kind of get used to that style of living, I guess. I was telling my wife the other day, it's like, yeah, politeness and order and all of these virtues that whites have, courtesy, just think about traffic. Like, I think people used to be a lot nicer about traffic before, but now people are cutting you off at every turn. So yeah, get used to it. It's just gonna be this constant battle. It's like, why should I be nice to you? You're just a evil white supremacist who all you did was build the infrastructure in the country that I'm coming to, but you theoretically stole it from other brown people in the past who aren't even the same type of brown person as I am, but that doesn't matter because I just hate white people, and that's my agenda. Let's see if we can add one more thing here. Oh, you know what? There's this guy. I want to add this guy. He's like, there is one guy who's running actually in the photo, or there might be two people. But there's one guy here. He's got like this jean jacket or something. He's so cool. Oh, that's way too big. So yeah, I mean, I hope that normies will see these kinds of photos and like the propaganda will backfire. I have to have, there are people who say that they parrot the lines, the NPCs, but do they really believe it? I don't know. I have a feeling that they're just, they don't want to get in trouble for saying something not PC, and so here's this dude here. He's looking over. he's like, what are they doing over there? Why is he getting, why is she tripping, and why did they stage that gas over there? I don't understand. They gassed us way down there. So yeah, I mean, I don't doubt that the Border Patrol used tear gas, but in this particular, this it's hard to believe that this thing is not staged here. So don't have proof, but it certainly is hard to believe. Also, did you might have heard about the person? I didn't read too much about this, but I heard there was someone who got impaled on spikes or something when they crossed, or rebar of some sort. Alright, so there's Elsa and her friend. It's so funny that like this, the fact that the fact that she looks obese, the fact that she's wearing this Disney, product of this propaganda movie and everything. Well, what does that say? Does that mean she's one of us now? No, she's part of the neoliberal order. And that's kind of that's an interesting point to talk about, right? Is that she is integrated into the globalist order, right? And so for that reason, from the neoliberal perspective, it's like, these people are great. They love the same kind of movies that we indoctrinate people with, and they're very gullible. They're easily fooled into like the lowest common denominator consumerist culture. And I don't know, maybe these people, these women and men and children like Mesa here, actually think that that's going to be enough. Like, we're going to let her and her bulging gut into our country just because she accepts, she buys the right products. Oh, she's so good. She's going to be such a good consumer. We can't wait to have her. Well, first of all, she's going to be consuming goods based on other people's resources, given the amount of children she has. And this is where I will wrap up here. And she is not, however, one of us. And it's very clear. And the people who are pushing back on the nihilism that has been injected into our society at just about every level, from porn, anything that's standardized, any of the big corporations and such, you can't do things nowadays that are not standardized. And you can't do something that Mesa here, that Maria Mesa isn't going to be able to be a part of. It has to appeal to the absolute lowest and most incompetent person. And I intentionally don't use the word inferior because I'm not a white supremacist, right? I don't actually think that white people are better at everything, but we are better at certain things, like building civilizations and maintaining civilizations. Or I shouldn't say maintaining. Maybe we're not the best at maintaining civilizations. That's what I'm trying to work on here in this little channel of mine. But yeah, the people on the right, and this is why the right-left dichotomy does still hold, because the people on the right see that kind of moral vacuum nihilism consumerism and drugs and porn that's depleting our souls of our country and, destroying our society. And they rightly want to change that. Now, sadly, a lot of the right has not yet realized that most of the world isn't capable of what you're pushing for. You're really asking too much. Why would they even want to become part of white culture? Why would they want to become part of a white integrated society? No, they want their culture, of course. They want their culture and our stuff. And I think it's time we tell them they can't have both, so they're going to have to pick. Now I'm not for integration, like civic nationalism, but if you are a civic nationalist, at the very least you have to tell these people, well, you either have to shape up or you just can't come in here, period. There's all kinds of problems with civic nationalism. Not the time for that. But I hope people realize that based African or that based Indian, that based Mexican down the street or at your office who's quite intelligent and you can hold a conversation with, that is not the norm, right? Not by any means. And so what's going to happen if these people are allowed to come in here? And what is it now? Something like 1 million immigrants a year coming into this country? I don't think that even counts the the illegal immigrants. So it's only going to, the quality of people is only going to decline from here. And we see this with these Hondurans, right? Once Mexico has sent most of their illegals, what are they going to do? Well, Honduras sees this. South America sees this. They see that Mexico is getting rich from the remittances. Like is it like a third of their income or something? Their GDP? It's something ridiculous. It's just people sending money from the U.S. back to Mexico. And other countries see this in South America and they say, cut me in on this action, please. Let's take it. Let's take whatever we can get from these white people for however long it lasts. That's the attitude of these people. Believe me. And the ones who are in the middle facilitating this, I was tempted to draw in this thing a flatbed truck with a Star of David on it. Oh man, I don't know where that came from. But whoever is facilitating these people, they do not have our interests at heart, and they don't have the interests of these people at heart. They see these people as tools, political tools, and they see photography, journalism, art, all of the things that we respect as being part of culture. They see those as tools to oppress us, frankly, to stir up propaganda that will sway the hearts of lots of, women. And, they're very upset that white women are not falling for this as much as they have in the past. So they are trying to use every available tool, and these people are intelligent. They are skilled at the use of propaganda. However, I don't think they're as good as the people that came before them, the ones who laid the groundwork for all this. So I think if there's a bright side to this, it's that they're getting sloppier, and because of the internet, people are seeing their mistakes now, and they're not really buying into it. They're seeing pictures like this one and rolling their eyes. So that's all I had for you guys today. I hope you really enjoyed this, and let me know what you think. I'd like to do more of these, but yeah, and again, it's like I can't. I think I did a pretty good job here. Just critiquing my own. I think there's certainly more detail I could add, but I don't want to talk for 3 hours here. So we're going to wrap it up here. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. I will see you next Tuesday. I believe we're going to have Mark Collette on the program. Looking forward to that. Take care.